Yeah, Margaret Wong is our country's leading immigration attorney, and she also helped Obama's aunt successfully stay in the U.S. Thank you.
Let me, the first question you probably ask is, what is a group of distinguished people here learning about trade, about making money on inter-country businesses, need to know about immigration? But let's see a raise of hands. How many of us here are foreign born? That's awesome. Remember how the first time we got that visa to America, I remember I was barely 19 years old, and it was declined 3 times. The 4th time I got it, and my mother had to go beg someone to sign that. In those days, it's I'm 34, the affidavit support, because my father doesn't make enough money, and I came. So a lot of us probably have that experience of coming. And more than that, those of us who does a lot of work with international companies, it's so important to remember a lot of times they want their children to come to America to go to school. Even the adult children from Greece, from Italy now, from the Eastern European side, they want to come now because of decrease in economics. So immigration is increasingly becoming difficult. And that's why when Radhika asked, Margaret, can you help us? I would say, I love it, because I think people need, especially the mainstream people under our current administration, they need to understand people like us. You look at all the Pulitzer Prize winner, all those writers winners, half of them are foreign born. I mean, it's people like us who developed the atomic bomb and the nuclear bomb and this bomb, that bomb. And it's amazing how every day I look at my clients and people who thanked me through the years, and I'm like, my gosh, look at them. They're big, they're successful, they became these big baseball players, writers, artists, all of these that are extraordinary. So let me summarize what's immigration. It's really fun what we do. There's the policy side. I always tell there's the big bosses, the people who sit in Washington, the people who talk. But they don't know about what people like us do. Then you have people like us who are the practitioners, who are the soldiers, who run back and forth to immigration, who help our clients get green cards, especially the medical doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, the teachers. A lot of people think, if you close your eyes and think, what is your picture of an immigrant? They're normally dark-skinned, but I don't know if you know, Latino people are considered white. When the Civil Rights Act came in 1964 by President Johnson, and the Color Quota, I must have talked to this 100 times, the Color Quota Act came in 1965, the Mexicans, the Latino people, they're white people. So really, they were not in our equation. The Color Quota Act included the Indians, the Chinese, and then the Eastern Europeans who, if you remember the old, I think nobody here will remember those days, but Idea Stream in those days was the public TV. They have that advisory council. They're all Eastern Europeans. I remember I was the first Asian who sat on the advisory council of the public TV station, the first Asian who sat on Tri-Seas Advisory Council, because in those days, the Eastern European, even now, Irene Morrow, judge, all these awesome judges, they're all white, but they're foreign born. It's only in the 80s and 90s. Nixon and they came to China, and then India opened up, and Modi came in, and it's divisive. People think Modi is great, and he is great. I met him in New York. But it's very divisive. India now is very much like in America. They don't like the Muslims, they don't like the they don't like the Sikhs, they don't like this. And if you're a Sikh, win your cases. New York, 2nd Circuit, and 9th Circuit, they're great for Sikh people, you can win asylum. So that's why immigration is so much fun. You have the policy level, you also have people like us who work the cases. I always tell my office, there's especially young lawyers, there's so many lawyers now, they're all my competition. I'm like, there's still some old blood left, the soldier in me. But every case could be won. You look at Chinese, Indians, Pakistanis, Mexican, El Salvadorians, Guatemala, and there's so many books out there about how America have paid a lot of covert money to the Latino people to fight against the Venezuelans, the Cubans, because we are really worried about the communists at one time. It's just like we were worried about Vietnam, we were worried about Viet Cong, so we're worried about this, and then Berlin Wall fell. So immigration is also about history. So immigration is basically very, very simple, parallel track. Left and right, yin and yang, male and female, top and bottom, heaven and hell, Muslim and Christians, always parallel. In the immigration world, criminal law versus immigration law. Immigration is civil versus criminal, but nowadays, even under Obama, people think Obama is nice. He's not. He's, and I represent his family, so he knows that too, how I feel. But they deported more than 3 million people, quietly, smartly, nicely. Now Trump is deporting more. So you always look at parallel. What do I do now? Like the question the gentleman just asked. How do I provide jobs for us to stay in America? How do I stay here now with a non-immigrant visa? So on one side. On the other side, now that I'm here, I love my job, how do I get myself a green card? I don't know if you remember, but when I got my green card, people always ask, what's the happiest day of my life? My husband will always say, make sure it's your wedding day. I'm like, yeah, it's my wedding day. But inside my mind, I always thought it's the day I got my green card. It's the day I become a citizen. It's the day I pass my bar. Because that's how people like us, we come to America, we became successful. You know, I still remember those days when you go to the bar association, the wives would talk to me. Or they'll put me in the table with the wives. I say, I'm no wife. I'm a working woman. I need to survive. If I don't work tomorrow, I don't get that kid, and I keep getting fired, of course. And I still remember those wives, they treat me like nothing. Of course, I'm dark-skinned. But that's okay. So through the years, it just grew and grew. So immigration is like this. You have the policy side, they talk and talk and talk. You also have the soldiering side, the groundwork. They pick up my woman or my guy. How do I get them out of jail? How do I fight deportation? How do I organize their mental strength? Because a lot of times they're so crazy, dreaming about their green card, dreaming about the citizen, they lost it. I have at least 5 or 6 cases where I have one now that he's threatening with a terrorist threat or something, you know, that the FBI is catching him. So we became so crazy. So I really indulge you and challenge you to really try to understand. Think about it. When Pope Francis came to America, what visa did he come? He's from Italy, right? He's from Vatican. How did he come? When Xi Jinping came to America, what visa was he on? When President Trump goes to the Far East, he needed something. He couldn't just go on Air Force One and get in. He needed that visa. That's why that visa is so important. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. If you think about it, people don't talk about it. I always wonder, how did Arnold Schwarzenegger got a visa, got his green card? Did he marry someone? Or did he just get it through EB-11? But in his days, there's no EB-11. EB-11 an extraordinary scientist, extraordinary exerciser. They only came in 1997. And then I was the first law firm. Wawa came in, I was one of the first law firm, but those are the abuse days. Now you have STNU visa. So I always think of, I need to write a book about this, the secrets that we don't talk about. How did we get our green cards? How did we ever get our visas? Once we got our green card as citizen, we forgot about it. But there's so many people that's here, that's out there, 15 million and more. People are scared. I just talked to someone, in fact, that's why I was late, that's 83 years old. I've known her since she was, like the first day I started practice, every Christmas she comes and say hello. She changed her, she was a male. She came to America, Mexico, and she was like 13. She's one of the first 20 people who changed her sex in Mexico. And then when she wanted to join the armed forces at the age of 16 and a half, they say, we don't accept people like you. Now she's 83, she still has no papers. Every Christmas she comes and see me, and I help her because in the meantime she saved up some money. She still does not collect social because she has no papers. Now, the reason why she came this morning is Ohio driver's license, and I learned something, I didn't know that. Because normally you go extend your driver's license every 4 years, they give it to you. Now, on the machine, they ask, are you an American citizen? So she said, what do I do? I said, well, as a lawyer, I couldn't tell you to say yes, but if you don't say yes, I could help you. Now the law changed. Doma fell, transsexual people now, the organ people, because now she's a perfect girl. She looks she's 83, but she's not beautiful, but she looks wonderful. So, but these are places where you look at her, you would never know she doesn't have papers. And I'm so proud of her. I said, look at you. And now she's so scared. There's only one person aside from me who knows this. I'm sort of proud of myself. I said, don't forget me now, don't forget me now. But then I'm just telling you these examples about how important it is to know each other, to know that people like us, we need the green card, we need the visas, we need citizen.